Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are brand new here, welcome. I'm Bonnie, Old Soul Mermaid. Today we have a fun video. I just got this in the mail. It's a new offering by Liminal 11. So if you'd like to take a closer look at the new offering by Liminal 11, stick around. This is the new chapter tarot by Kathryn Briggs, and it is published by Liminal 11. It's a mass market deck, widely available. I pre-ordered this a while ago from Amazon, and I literally just got it. I'm going to get this out of the plastic, and we are going to delve into this. I am so excited. Okay, so this is in the beautiful Liminal 11 trapdoor box, okay? So they've made that change from the modern witch tarot where that, the box was like this without the trapdoor and it would just slide out. Well, they've added this trapdoor for all their subsequent offerings. So look at this beautiful box. It is stunning. It is stunning. And look at that little gold foil. Oh my gosh, they really, really are upping their game with some of these mass market releases. So on the back it says, a story, a journey, a self-portrait of change. The new chapter tells the story of a woman who had to leave her old life behind and return to her home country following the end of her marriage. Each card is a meditation in paint. The completed deck represents a new life, a circle of hope and friendship and love. All right, I'm excited to tear into this. Let's tear into it, you guys. So that's the inside of the box. It's a bright, sunny, cosmic yellow. And this is the inner box. Look how beautiful that is. And the NC for new chapter. All right. So I'm curious about this. Okay, so it does look like this is going to be removable, I think. Yes, it is removable. Unlike it was the Cosmic Slumbers where the cardboard was not removable, but there's the inner box. And the cards just have a little plastic sleeve. Their traditional, Liminal 11's traditional hard little white book. Look how gorgeous it is. We'll take a look at this later. And the cards. Now, I'm curious about the cardstock. Look at the backs. Okay, we're going to get in a little bit closer. All right, so if this makes you nauseous, look away. These cards are not traditional tarot size. They're a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm going to need to get up just a little bit because I'm going to pull my traditional RWS. All right. So they're as wide as a traditional deck, but look how much shorter it is. Very, very interesting. Now the box seems to be regular size, so stick around to the end of the video and we'll kind of compare it to other Liminal 11 productions. All right, so look at that. I am really, really loving the back. Now it's a matte cardstock. I'm trying to see if it feels like the Luna Soul. It's not glossy. It's not thick. like the Modern Witch and the Cosmic Slum, you know, it's the Cosmic Slumbers is a little bit thinner than the Modern Witch, and the White Newman is a little bit thinner than that, but this is really thin matte cardstock. I will bring out the other decks at the end of the video because I know you're dying to see the fronts of the cards. Okay, so I'm going to do a musical flip through, and then we'll come back on the other side and discuss.
touch the ground. Someone please hear me. Oh, here we go. Feelings overflow. I don't really know what's on, 'cause I'm a restless soul. Oh, here we go. Feelings overflow. I don't know where to go. Yeah, I'm a hopeless soul. Oh, here
Well, I hope you enjoyed that musical flip through. And now we're going to flip through it again with just some quick commentary so you can get another look at the cards. I'm going to put timestamps in the video so you can skip this part or not. But oh my gosh, you guys, this is a highly nuanced deck. And while I was flipping through it, I just wanted to stay on each card and pick out everything that's in it. Now, you will notice that at the end there were 2 extra cards, gratitude and invocation. The beginning of everything, you know, a clean slate. And when I looked at this magician, it's like all the incarnations that a magician can come in. It's just all here. The triple goddess. I love that there is age depicted in the Empress, the Emperor. Now these few cards kind of reminded me of the Hudes Tarot. Maybe I'll pull that out. The Hudes Tarot has, you know, their clothing is more medieval, sort of like the Rider-Waite Smith, but something about the color palette is bringing my mind to that. It's an out of print deck, and I do have an unboxing of it. Maybe I'll bring it out. I love that this is the teacher, and the lovers, kind of a depiction of a marriage, a hand fasting here. You know, that old custom of hand fasting. That's what this reminded me of. Now, like it says, this is a meditative deck, and if you notice, it's more pip-like. In the minor arcana, there's not always people depicted. Very cool. Justice. I love this hermit, and I love how the hermit kind of melds with the landscape. The solitude of the landscape here. This Wheel of Fortune. Now this kind of got me. This person is at the bottom of the wheel right now. Do you see the bones? It's like animal bones, ribs sticking out. And the 2 swords with the hands holding them, it's almost like a marionette. That this person is a marionette at the fate of the puppeteer. And that's just what jumped out at me with this. Beautiful strength card. Fairly traditional hanged man. I thought interesting depiction of death here. I want to read the book and understand this card. Temperance. I thought this was also interesting. With the 2 heads here on the one body, it's almost like the melding of our 2 selves, our light and our shadow self. The devil. Now this is the devil. It's interesting to see. Now this, I would say, by and large, is an RWS deck. It follows the RWS system, but it very much goes its own way with some of the images, like here with the devil. This hand up here, I don't know if this gesture has any significance, but it almost seems like a defiant gesture, almost like a middle finger between, you know, personal wants and desires and societal norms. I don't know. I'm not going to spend too much time trying to figure it out, but I love this tower. It's like you think you have everything planned, and then something happens and you discover there's a missing piece. Beautiful star. This would be a wonderful card to meditate on. You see how the star is very, very tiny. Kind of have to find it. And as well as this moon. Yeah, I want to read what the book says about this moon. A simple sun. Be grateful there's no naked babies here. The Judgment card. You know, in traditional Christianity, judgment is the death of something, the death of the old world, and then kind of the birth, the seed of a new of the new world. And I think that's maybe what's being depicted here. I love this universe card. Oh, I love it. Gorgeous Ace of Wands, the Two of Wands, and you can see how there's the pips. It's largely pips, but you really get what you need from the RWS. Meanings. The Five of Wands. It's going to be competition, betrayal. The Six of Wands. I don't know if this is an older woman or an older gentleman here, but I do like that maybe with the white hair, maybe there's some age depicted here. I do like it, you know, kind of pride for a job well done, you know, kind of at this advanced juncture in your life. Seven of Wands. It's a defiant, maybe fighting against depression kind of stance, you know, posing of the arm that way. And we've got a traditional, you know, swiftness, high energy depicted in the Eight of Wands, the Nine of Wands. Just perseverance, courage, strength. And I think that's kind of a fairly traditional Ten of Wands, feeling overwhelmed, overworked. I love it. I love how the pages are princesses. And you'll notice that some of the princesses are male, bearded males in here. Powerful knight. Yeah, in some of the suits, the princesses and the knights, the gender is switched from the traditional. Beautiful Queen of Wands, King of Wands. Beautiful Ace of Cups. Kind of a blessed partnership. Three of Cups. Very, very interesting. Kind of stillness and contemplation here in the Four of Cups. Or it could be stagnation and boredom, I guess. Five of Cups. Yeah, I think it depicts strife and disillusionment, emotional conflict. The Six of Cups. Kind of inner peace. Peace in general. Have the Seven of Cups. Possibilities. Do you see the gentleman on the bottom of the card here? The Eight of Cups. setting out into the unknown, the journey, leaving something behind. Kind of prioritizing your emotional needs, maybe in the Nine of Cups here, fulfillment. And the Ten of Cups. Found yourself in a happy place here. See, the Princess of Cups is a bearded person here. And then we've got a very Joan of Arc like Knight of Cups. Beautiful Queen of Cups here. So you see there is some race depicted here, some age so far. And now we've got the Ace of Swords. We do have astrological correspondences if you see, you know, the symbols in the little corners for the aces. And the Two of Swords, so we have the swords here and a crossroads, so traditional without the person here. This is a very different depiction of the Three of Swords, you know, to depict loss, disappointment, maybe coming to an understanding. You can't go any further. He's saying halt. You got to stop, recalibrate. I like it. Meditative Four of Swords here. Fairly traditional Five of Swords. This one gets me, this Six of Swords. Some of you aren't going to like this, but a wounded or struck, pierced unicorn or magical animal. A painful but necessary change. Some hard truths realized. Yeah, some of you may not like this card. I was kind of a little bit, ooh, you know, when I saw it. It's like, no. Seven of Swords. Well, those swords, kind of an energy of fighting for fighting's sake, maybe. Eight of Swords. Now they have a male and not a traditional female here, but I like this. Fairly traditional. To me, this Nine of Swords really represents the kind of being stuck in analysis paralysis, and I can totally relate to this card right now. And the Ten of Swords. This is very interesting. Is it the calm before the storm, or the calm after the, after the storm, when you accept your lot? And it's taking that time to, when you're down and you have to figure out how to climb out. I like this Princess of Swords. Traditional Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords. I really do love the artwork in this deck, you guys. I really, really like it. It does remind me of the Hudes Tarot. It just does. Two of Discs. Duality here, a waxing and waning, ripening and rotting of fruit. Traditional Three of Discs, collaboration, Four of Discs. It's interesting they have that crown there. You're in a position maybe of privilege, power? How tightly are you holding on to it? How, protecting your domain? That's what this card says to me. Protecting what's yours. Now this 5 of discs really got to me. That is potent. Really, really being on the down and out. You're starving, you're dying. Maybe being in a position of, maybe pride is keeping you from accepting what can help you out of this situation. Being trapped in negative patterns. This is very potent. The 6 of discs. Sweet. Super sweet. The 7 of discs. There's a plow in there if you can see it. I don't know, the plow might be stuck in the mud. It might be plowing some, inhospitable ground. 8 of discs, learning, study, apprenticeship. Depicts that very well. And the Lady of Leisure in her element with the 9 of discs. The 10 of discs, the abundance that you've worked for, hopefully the last generations. The Princess of Discs again looks like a bearded male. And the Knight looks like a powerful female with armor. I do like those depictions. So we've got some body diversity here finally. So yes, for the Queen of Discs, and then we have the King of Discs. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So why don't we... This is a chunky little deck. Even though the cards don't feel super thick, it does feel, look at this. Look at how chunky that feels. So we're gonna give it a little shuffle here. And we're just gonna take a look at the book. We're gonna pull a card. So it is small. I can get my hands around it, but super matte. I would say almost on the papery side though, but it's not flimsy. It's not flimsy at all. As you can see how chunky it feels. I'm really bowled over by the imagery. The Knight of Discs. Okay, but we are going to look at the book. It is set up, let's see, like the others. So we have a table of contents. So there's a foreword by Rachel Pollack, which would be wonderful. An introduction, you go into the major, the minor, arcanas, the exclusive cards, reading the tarot, and spreads. Oh, so this is going to be interesting to read the foreword by Rachel Pollack. Yes. And the introduction, we'll just read a few sentences. I didn't start out thinking this would be an actual deck. When I began working on the version of the Wheel of Fortune, it was my way of processing a very complicated set of feelings. I had come to the realization that my relationship was ending, and it wasn't just my relationship that was on the line. The life I had built for 8 long years had come to a turning point. I was I was an immigrant on a marriage visa with no professional contacts in my home country, and outside of my family, no community back home. Was I prepared to blow up my entire life? Would I risk what was known for what could be? There's a reason I cast myself as the Knight of Cups. Okay, so her choice, the choice whether to stay or move. She loved her life in Scotland, the work, the comics, the friends, the country itself. But boy, howdy, did I feel strongly about the America I would be returning to. So I arted through my feelings, one card at a time, as they arose and presented themselves to be dealt with. Okay, so this is a personal journey here. Very interesting. I'm going to really enjoy reading this. So let's take a look at a sample of the writing. So we pulled the Knight of Discs. So that's going to be towards the end here. So one thing I guess I should show you, for the major arcana, you do get a small colored picture. This is like all the Liminal 11 little white books. But then you just get a few sentences for the minors. So let's find the Knight of Discs. Okay. So here we go. Pragmatic and steadfast, the Knight of Discs stands for the achievements of your goals and wishes. Through patience and hard work, tangible rewards can be reached through steady progression. There are no shortcuts to success. The Knight encourages you to accept responsibility for your own health and happiness. Now, she has the extra cards in here. And she does have upright and reversed, which is great for these extra cards. She has a little bit reading with the tarot and spread. So she has one 4-card spread. So card 1 is direction, card 2 is journey, card 3 is result, you know, what will happen, advice, how to navigate this journey. She has Hecate at the crossroads. Wonderful. That's a 5-card spread. And a balanced life, which is an in-depth 11-card spread. So this would be a great one to rival the Celtic Cross for those of you who use the Celtic Cross. And here is a 7-card crossing the threshold spread. Oh my gosh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let's take a quick look-see and see. I'm sorry if I bump the arm of my camera, but we're just going to see how these are all. Let's see. I'm still getting all discs. Oh well. All right, we got some cups and wands in here. And there's a major arcana. All right. All right. I didn't do a very good job of shuffling. But they look beautiful together, don't you think? Yeah. They do. Wonderful, wonderful. So I broke out my Hudes tarot deck, my beloved Hudes tarot deck. Now, this is an old US Games deck. It's out of print, but you can still find copies on eBay, which is where I got mine. Look at the color palette. There's just, I know that they have different clothing, And they're very different decks, but there's something about this deck that reminds me of this deck. And I think it is the color palette. So this kind of reminds me, this death card reminds me of the 5 of Pentacles that we saw here that was jarring. Now look at the 2 Strength cards. Just a similar softness, you know. This is a little bit more glossy cardstock. This is super matte, but there's just something about the color palette I think is very, very similar. Something about the borders. Some of you are not going to like the borders and wonder why it's not borderless. That would be great, but you know, at the same time, I think it works for this deck as the borders work for this. Yeah, there's just something, there's a similarity of energy and essence. Is one going to keep me from working with the other? No. I'll enjoy working with both of them. All right, I've got a mess going on around me, but I just wanted, we're going to do a cardstock comparison. And so I've got all the Liminal 11 decks that I have lined up by from when they were released. So this is the Modern Witch, and I think I have them in order. This is the Cosmic Slumber. This is the White Newman. This is the Luna Soul. Now, this is the second edition of the Luna Soul. I don't have the original. So the Luna Soul was released after the White Newman, the second edition of it. And this is the new chapter. Okay, so you can see there's a definite size difference. Now, I'm looking right here, and it looks like the Modern Witch has the thickest cardstock, because I can tell, you might not be able to tell, but it's standing the tallest of all the decks. It's super chunky, and I know a lot of people have complained about the cardstock because it's really hard to shuffle. You can do it. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's, you know, good because the deck is going to last you forever. It doesn't keep me from using the deck, but then I think Liminal 11 did listen, because the cardstock for the Cosmic Slumbers is quite a bit thinner. Not flimsy by any means, but thinner. And the cardstock between the White Newman, I think the White Newman is a little bit thinner, but it seems to be standing taller than the Cosmic Slumber. So I would say these are a wash pretty much, the White Newman and the Cosmic Slumber. Glossy cardstock, but not sticky. But then they went different, a different path, and they went totally matte with the Luna Soul. Now, let's see. These feel very similar. Very, very similar. I would say maybe it's because these are taller. These feel a little bit sturdier in the new chapter, but I think it's basically, it has the same amount of matte. Yeah, they feel identical. Now, because these are the two most similar, we're going to move these aside. And I believe there's extra cards in here. So we're going to check the thickness. We're going to turn the decks on the side. All right. Let's see. They look to be about the same, you know. Does this one look a little bit thicker to you? Let me know in the comments below. But this one feels like a thick little chunky monkey deck, maybe because it's shorter and stockier. But the cardstock feels very, very similar. Though, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's shorter that this might feel a tad more dense. But they are the exact same equivalent of matte. The edges feel the same. So I don't know. What does it look like to you? Which one looks more matte or seems thicker? They seem pretty identical. Another thing I wanted to point out is the size of the boxes. Now, you saw the Lunasol is a full-size traditional tarot deck, while the new chapter, you know, is a little bit shorter. The boxes of the two decks are exactly the same. This is the new chapter, even though the cards are shorter, it's the exact same height in box. You can see right here. So even though this is a shorter deck, and I think that would have to be because the guidebook is the same size as all the other Liminal 11 guidebooks. So they kept it the same size even though the deck is shorter. So I just wanted to point that out. So if you are thinking about this deck and go, oh my gosh, it's a shorter deck, the box isn't going to match with my collection, it will. It's the exact same size. All right, so that concludes my walkthrough of the New Chapter Tarot by Kathryn Briggs, a new Liminal 11 deck. I'm really excited about this one, you guys. I'm really excited to work with it. But I want to know in the comment box below, are you excited about it? Was this deck on your radar? Do you plan to add it to your collection? Let me know what you think about the artwork. I want to hear all your comments down below. And if you are brand new to my channel, if you found any value to this walkthrough, if it helped you make a purchasing decision, please consider hitting a like, a subscribe, the notification bell. I come often with new videos. And with that, I will leave you to get on with your beautiful day. Bye for now.